إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to this another of our sitting, and today's topic is the major signs before the Day of Judgment. I expect all of you to have the hadith ready for the Mahdi, the Dajjal, the hadith about Jesus. I don't want to be screaming and shouting, where is the hadith? I expect you to have these hadiths ready about the Mahdi and about the Dajjal. First the Mahdi, then the Dajjal, then Jesus. All these hadiths should be ready because we are going to be discussing all these issues today. Inshallah ta'ala. One day some companions were with the Prophet and they were talking about something, and the Prophet said, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "We are talking about the Day of Judgment." The Day of Judgment will not come until 10 things happen. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned the 10 things that will happen before the Day of Judgment comes. The Mahdi, the Dajjal, the coming of Jesus, the return of Jesus, the Magog and Magog, the beast, the destruction of the Kaaba, the rising of the sun, the large smoke, and a fire. The Quran will be lifted up, a fire will drive the people to their place of gathering. Now, do you have the hadith where the Prophet asked the companions, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "We are talking about the Day of Judgment." And the Prophet said, "The Day of Judgment will not come until 10 things." And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam listed these 10 things. Can any admin find that hadith? I thought you were prepared for this dars, the signs before the Day of Judgment. Obviously, you're not prepared. Okay, please, on that, our brother word up one to help bring in the hujjah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard his companions talking, and he said, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "We're talking about the Day of Judgment." And the Prophet said, "It won't happen until you see 10 signs." Now, these 10 signs the Prophet mentioned, these are 10 major signs. Did any admin find a hadith where the Prophet said, "The Day of Judgment will not come until you see 10 signs"? Now, you cannot find a hadith, so obviously you were not prepared for today's dars. Where is the hadith the Prophet said to the Sahabas, the Judgment Day will never come until 10 things happen? You see 10 things. The first chapter in my notes is Imam Mahdi. Our brother Al-Ghuraba, please write the coming of Imam Mahdi, because that is the first chapter in my notes. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said that in the end of time, the Mahdi will emerge, and the word Mahdi means the one who is guided. So Hadi means the guide, and Mahdi is the one who is guided. The Prophet said that he will come from the lineage of Hassan. Grandson of the Prophet is called Hassan. He will come from the lineage of Hassan. So the Mahdi will come at the end of time. He is considered one of the rightly guided caliphs. The Prophet said that the Mahdi is considered to be one of the rightly guided caliphs. He is not the Mahdi who the Shiites are waiting for. The Shiites, they have a crazy concept about Imam Mahdi. The Mahdi will come from the lineage of Hassan. The Rasul said that his name will be like my name, and his father's name will be like my father's name. The Prophet said, Imam Mahdi, his name will be like my name, and his father's name will be like my father's name. And when Imam Mahdi comes, he will fill the earth with justice and equality, the way it is filled with tyranny and oppression. Abdallah ibn Masid said, reported the Messenger of Allah said, the world will not pass away before the Arabs are ruled by a man, referring to the Mahdi, of my family whose name will be the same as mine. So Imam Mahdi, his name will be like the name of the Prophet, and his father's name will be like the name of the Prophet's father. So his name will be Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Imam Mahdi will rule for 7 years. So Imam Mahdi will rule for 7 years. Abu Dawud reports, Abdullah ibn Masid said, the Prophet said, if there were only one day left for the world, that they would be lengthened until a man from among my descendants or from among the people of my family, my household, was sent. His name will be the same as my name, and his father's name will be like the same as my father. He will fill the earth with justice and fairness, just as it has now been filled with tyranny and oppression. The world will not end until a man of my household, whose name is the same as mine, holds sway over the world. So this is what the Rasul ﷺ had to say about the Mahdi. The Shiites, they have a weird concept about Imam Mahdi. They claim that there are 12 Imams, and one of the Imams is called the hidden Imam, Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Askari. Listen to the Shiite concept about Imam Mahdi. So our brother Al-Ghuraba, you're going to write another chapter, the Shiite concept about Imam Mahdi. Shiites believe that there are 12 Imams. And the last Imam is called Muhammad ibn Hassan ibn al-Askari. Muhammad ibn Hassan ibn al-Askari. He disappeared in a tunnel. I don't know if it's a black wall tunnel or the Rotherhire tunnel, but he disappeared in a tunnel when he was 5 years old. And he disappeared in Samarra in Iraq. The place he disappeared is called Samarra in Iraq. That's where he disappeared at age 5. He is still alive, even though he is more than 1,115 years old. He's still alive. This Muhammad ibn al-Hassan al-Askari shall re-emerge in the last days as the awaited Mahdi. He is expected to re-emerge as the awaited Mahdi. Please tell them the tunnel he disappeared is called Samarra in Iraq. When the Mahdi comes back, the Shiite Mahdi, he's going to bring a third of the Quran with him, because the Quran you have at home is not complete, it's lacking. The awaited Mahdi, who is their Imam, Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Askari, he has the complete version of the Quran. And when the Mahdi comes back, he's going to take Abu Bakr and Omar out of their graves and put life into them and crucify them, because they were the two idols of Quraysh. And when the Mahdi comes, the Shiite Mahdi, he's going to take Aisha out of her grave, put life into her, and punish her for committing zina, for cheating on the Prophet. And when the Shiite Mahdi comes, he's going to bring a third of the Quran, which is missing, because the Quran you have at home is not the full verse. That is their ideology in regards to the Mahdi. When the Mahdi comes, Allah will bring rain. And Allah will bring abundance of fruits and vegetables. The Mahdi will come with barakah. He'll bring abundance of rain and fruits and vegetables. And people will not suffer poverty when the Mahdi comes. Now, let us go to another chapter. The next chapter is the Dajjal. I needed to find the hadith of Tamim al-Dari. Okay, the hadith of Tamim al-Dari, please find that hadith. Fatima bin Qais said, we were with the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, And the Prophet came to the masjid to speak to the people. Listen to Fatima bin Qais. Fatima bin Qais said she was with Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He came out and he made an announcement at the masjid, telling the people to come for Salah in Jama'ah. She said, I went and I was with the women row, which was the back row in the Jama'ah of the masjid. When the Prophet finished the Salah, he sat on the pulpit, smiling. The Prophet was smiling as he sat on the pulpit and said, everyone should stay in his place. Then he said, do you know why I have asked you to assemble in the masjid? Okay, can one of the admins find the hadith of Tamim ad-Dari? So after the people pray in the masjid, in Jama'ah, the Prophet sat on the pulpit and he was smiling. And he said, everyone should stay in their place. Don't leave the masjid. Stay in your place. Then he said, do you know why I have asked you to assemble, to stay in your place? The people said, Allah and His Messenger know best. I hope I'm not going too fast. He said, by Allah, I have not gathered you here to give you an exhortation, a wa'az, or a warning. I have kept you here because Tamim ad-Dari, a Christian man who has come and embraced Islam, told me something which agrees with that which I have told you about the Dajjal. It's a long hadith. I only want the piece from where, yes, ascended the mimbar and he smiled. Yes, that's what I want. Tamim ad-Dari was a Christian. He was a Palestinian Christian and he came to the Prophet and embraced Islam because of his experience. Tamim ad-Dari had sailed in a ship with 30 men from Banu Lacham and Banu Judham. The waves had tossed them about for a month at sea. Then they were brought near to an island at the time of sunset. They landed on the island and were met by a beast who was so hairy that they could not tell his front from his backside. Assalamu alaikum. Somebody jumped the mic, so I was kicked off mic. Don't jump the mic, please. And mic, can you hear me? Any voice? Tamim ad-Dari said, we quickly went to the monastery. There we found a huge man with his hands tied up to his neck and with iron shackles between his legs up to the ankles. We said, woe to you, who are you? He said, you will soon know about me. Tell me who you are. We said, we are people from Arabia. We sailed in a ship, but the waves have brought us, tossing us about for a whole month, and they brought us to your island. Beast who was so hairy that we could not tell its truth. We said to it, woe to you, what are you? Because they have never seen anything like this. First time in their life. And it said, I am Al-Jassasa. Al-Jassasa is the spy for the Dajjal. Al-Jassasa spy on behalf of the Dajjal, the beast. He's a spy of the Dajjal. We asked, what is Al-Jassasa? And it told us, go to this man in the monastery, for he is eager to know about you. The admin posted the hadith in its totality. Okay, yes. The man said, tell me about the date palms of Baisan, and he asked about Tabariya, the date palms of Baisan. Then he said, tell me about the lake of Tabariya. We said, what do you want to know about it? He said, is there water in it? He said, yes, there's plenty of water in it. He said, soon it will dry up. Then he said, tell me about the spring of Zuhar. Then he said, tell me about the unlettered prophet. They said, what has he done? The Dajjal said, what has he done? We said, he has left Mecca and settled in Yathrib, which is Medina. He asked, do the Arabs fight against him? We said, yes, they fought against him. How does he deal with them? So we told him that the Prophet ﷺ had overcome the Arabs around him and that they had followed him. He asked, has it really happened? We said, yes. He said, it is better for them if they follow him. The Dajjal said, it's better for them if they follow him. It's better for them if they follow him. Now I will tell you about myself. I am the Dajjal. I will soon be permitted to leave this place. I am now in shackles, but soon I will be able to leave this place. I will emerge and travel about the earth in 40 nights. I will pass through every town except Mecca and Medina, for they have been forbidden to me. Mecca and Medina are forbidden to me. Every time I try to enter them, I will be met by an angel bearing a sword. The Prophet said, Fatima bin Qais, the Prophet pointed, striking the Prophet with his staff. Striking the Prophet with his staff and said, Tayyiba, Tayyiba. This is Tayyiba. Tayyiba means Medina. Tayyiba is the other name for Medina. So, whenever you are studying the Dajjal, the Shaykhs always open up the topic with the hadith of Tamim al-Dari. Tamim al-Dari was a Christian from Palestine. And he was in a boat with 30 men, and the waves keep tossing them for 1 month, and they went on an island. And when they went on the island, they saw a beast who was so hairy, you couldn't tell the back from the front. They say, woe be unto you, because they have never seen something like that. The beast is called Jassasa. Jassasa is the spy for the Dajjal. And when the beast said, go to that monastery, there is a man there who's eager to meet you. The man said, who are you? He said, we are Arabs from Arabia. And the beast asked them a couple of questions and asked them about the unlettered prophet. So he has overpowered the Arabs and they are following him. He overcame the Arabs and they are following him. The man who was in shackles said, it's better if they follow him. He said, now I'll tell you about myself. I am the Dajjal and I will emerge. Soon I shall emerge from these iron shackles. And when I emerge, I will be on earth for 40 nights. Or you could say 40 days. Now, how long will the Dajjal rule the earth for? When you calculate it, he will rule for 40 days, 1 day like a year. 1 day like a year, 1 day like a month, 1 day like a week. And the remaining days will be normal days. So the rule of the Dajjal, it will be for 40 days. One day like a year, one day like a month, one day like a week. And the remaining days will be normal days. When the Dajjal spoke to Tamim ad-Dari, he was a Christian. But the Dajjal said it's better for them to follow the unlettered prophet. And he embraced Islam. I am happy that you are finding the hadith that I am quoting, especially the one about Tamim ad-Dari. And our brother Inspire and Authentic 33, I would like you to find all the hadiths that I am quoting. I don't want to be screaming and shouting, where is the hadith? The hadith about Tamim ad-Dari is a very, very important hadith. I'm not finished talking about the Dajjal. Before the Dajjal emerges, people will suffer because there will be drought. Before he emerges, people suffer. There will be severe drought. And the animals will die because of the drought. People will suffer from severe drought. But then the Dajjal will emerge, and he will be able to go to a man and said, where are your animals? He said, they died from the drought. He said, what if I bring them back to life? Will you believe I am Allah? The man said, yes. And the Dajjal has jinns working for him. So the jinns will take the form of his cows and goats and sheep. Cows, goats, sheep. With a lot of milk in their breast. The Bedouin will say, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, and he will worship the Dajjal, thinking the Dajjal is actually Allah. The parents of the Dajjal were barren for 30 years. Then they gave birth to a boy, and the boy was born with one eye. They were barren for 30 years. Then miraculously, they gave birth to a boy after 30 years, and the boy will be born with one eye. The prophet said, the Dajjal is the biggest fitna to ever emerge among something about the Dajjal. No other prophet told their people, he is blind in the right eye, and your Lord is not one-eyed. Did you know that Ahmad ibn Hanbal used this hadith to say Allah has two eyes? The Hanbalis use this hadith as evidence to say Allah has two eyes. Because the Prophet said, your Lord is not one-eyed. The Dajjal will start off by being a tyrannical king. Listen to the stages. The Dajjal will start off by being a tyrannical king. Okay, please find the hadith. Yes, find the hadith. I don't want to be screaming and shouting, where is the hadith? When I quote a hadith, I expect to see the hadith on the board. Ibn Umar reported that a messenger made a mention of Dajjal in his presence of the people and said, Allah is not one-eyed, and behold, the Dajjal is blind in the right eye, and his eye will be like a frozen grape. Okay, shukran. Okay, we continue the dance. He will start off like as a tyrannical king. And when he sees his powers increase, he will claim to be a prophet. And when he sees powers increase, he will claim to be Allah. So these are the stages. He starts off as a tyrannical king. Then he will claim to be a prophet. And the third stage, then he will claim to be Allah. Now the Dajjal is a Jew. The Dajjal is a Jew. He claimed to be prophet and he claimed to be Allah. There was a man in Medina who people thought was Dajjal, Ibn Sayyad. And Omar wanted to kill him because he was causing fitna. But Ibn Sayyad told the Prophet, I am not the Dajjal, because you said that the Dajjal doesn't have kids. I have kids. When the Prophet said the Dajjal has no kids, some scholars said because he is sterile, and some said because he's gay. The Dajjal is gay. So whenever you're living in a country that legalizes gay marriages, that's a Dajjal system. The scholars interpret the hadith, the Dajjal has no kids. Some interpret it to mean the Dajjal is gay. Some interpret it to mean the Dajjal is sterile. Frankly speaking, I don't know which one of these scholars are correct. But I am inclined to the opinion that says he's gay. Why he has no kids? The Dajjal will be able, when he passes by a village and the people have no water, he will be able to make the cloud open up and rain fall. The Dajjal will be able to make the cloud open up and rain fall. If you believe in him, he'll open the clouds for rain to fall. If you don't believe in him, your animals will die. Then he'll go to another Bedouin and say, where are your parents? My parents are dead. So what if I bring your parents back to life? Will you believe that I am Allah? He said, yes. The Dajjal, because of the jinns who work for him, the jinns will take on the form of his parents, and the Bedouin, when he saw his parents brought back to life, he'll say, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, and worship the Dajjal, thinking the Dajjal is Allah. Scholars of Islam like Shaykh, he said, I am amazed that people can think the Dajjal is Allah. The man is blind in the right eye and he walks and dips because one of his legs is deformed. From now we say the same thing. How can a person think that the Dajjal is Allah? The man is deformed. He's disabled. He's blind in the right eye and he walks and dips because one of his legs is deformed. How can that be Allah? Well, I tell you why. People will get carried away. Because before the Dajjal comes, there will be drought, a great drought. And he will make the rain fall if you believe in him. This is why the Prophet said the biggest fitna to emerge among the people to take them away from Allah will be the Dajjal. A man will come out and argue with him, and he will kill the man. Cut the man in two equal halves with a saw. Then bring the man back to life. He will say, look, I killed you and I bring you back to life. Will you believe I am Allah? The man will say, now I am sure you are actually the Dajjal. The Prophet said, this man will be the best, will be in the highest paradise. This man who came and argued with the Dajjal will be in the highest paradise. When the Dajjal comes to Mecca and Medina, he can't enter because angels are guarding Mecca and Medina. So he will shake Medina with 3 earthquakes. And when he shakes Medina with 3 earthquakes, all the hypocrites will panic and they will run out of Medina straight into the arms of the Dajjal like a lamb to the slaughter. He will shake Medina with 3 earthquakes. Okay, you found the hadith when he said to the man, what if I bring your animals back to life? What if I bring your parents back to life? And the man will worship the Dajjal, thinking that the Dajjal is Allah. Okay, see if you can find the hadith I just quoted. He will come to Medina, and he can't enter because the angels are guarding Medina. And he's desperate for the people to follow him. But he can't enter Medina. So he will shake Medina with 3 earthquakes. And the hypocrites of Medina will panic. And they will rush out of Medina, straight into the arms of the Dajjal like a lamb to the slaughter. There's a hadith that says the Dajjal will emerge at Khurasan. And listen to this hadith, the Dajjal will emerge at Khurasan. Yes, 3 earthquakes will take place and Allah will expel all the non-believers and hypocrites from it. Okay, thank you for finding the hadith. When I am dealing with a topic, you need to find all the hadiths around the topic so that I don't need to scream and shout, where is the hadith? Yes, this is the exact hadith I learned from my sheikhs when we were covering Signs Before Judgment Day. Okay, I learned another hadith from my sheikhs. It's very shocking. I'll tell you the hadith in a little while. What was I talking about? Anyway, I learned another hadith from my sheikhs. It's very shocking. Let's see if we can find the hadith. When we studied the Dajjal in university, my sheikhs told me he has 2 rivers with him, the Dajjal. One looked like fire and one looked like water. The one that looked like fire, that's actually water. And the one that looks like water, that's fire. So the word Dajjal means to deceive. When a person calls you a Dajjal, what he's saying is that you're a liar. You can call a man a Dajjal if he's a liar and a deceiver and a con artist. Because the word Dajjal is from the word Dajjal, which means to deceive. So if a person sells you a car which is faulty and he hides the fault of the car, you can call him a Dajjal because he deceives you. The Prophet said the river that looks like fire, that is water. And the river that looks like water, that is fire. So he said, rush into the one that looks like fire because that is actually the water. That hadith I learned from my sheikhs and I find it shocking. You found it in Abu Dawud, my sheikhs told me it's in Muslim. Anyway, I'll accept your version of the hadith. You found it in Abu Dawud and my sheikhs told me the hadith is found in Muslim. However, I will accept your version of the hadith. Yes, I remember the hadith that I learned from the sheikhs. The Prophet said in the hadith, the Dajjal, his followers will be Jews and women. Can you believe it? Okay, find this hadith which I learned from my sheikhs. The bulk of his followers, the majority of his followers will be women and the Jews. Now, the Jews want to tear down Masjid al-Aqsa. This is also shocking. The Jews want to tear down Masjid al-Aqsa to build in its place the Temple of Solomon to receive the Dajjal. So the same way you are waiting for the Mahdi to come and you are waiting for Jesus to come, the Jews, they are waiting for somebody to come to rule over them and lead them in battle against their enemies. So who is the king that the Jews are waiting for? The Dajjal. Why do Jews want to tear down Masjid al-Aqsa? to build in its place the Temple of Solomon to receive the Dajjal. So the Jews, they think, okay, the Dajjal, 70,000 Jews of Asfan wearing Persian shawls. Okay, find the hadith that says the majority of his followers will be Jews and women. That's what I learned from my Shaykh. I want to see that hadith. Now, the Jews want to tear down Masjid al-Aqsa. Narrated Hazrat ibn Umar, the Prophet said, Dajjal will stay in the Salim land, while most of the women folk shall approach him, even so that a man will tie up his wife, mother, daughter, sister, and aunt with rope, fearing that they might join with the Dajjal. Yes. A man will tie up his women folks, his wife, his mother. You, the Muslim man, the fitna of Dajjal is so strong that you will have to tie up your mother, your wife, your daughter, your sister, your aunt. Why? You fear that they will leave the house and follow the Dajjal. You have to physically tie them up. Because the Prophet said this is the biggest fitna to emerge among mankind. There is something else about the Dajjal which I need to tell you, and I hope you'll find the hadith. The Prophet said between the eyes of the Dajjal on his forehead is written what? Kafir. The Rasul said even the person who is illiterate will read it as long as you're a believer. He is blind in the right eye, the Dajjal. He walks and dips because one of his legs is deformed. Between his eyes, what is written? Kafir. Even the illiterate can read it if you are a believer. Only if you are a sincere believer, you'll be able to read what Allah wrote between his eyes. What Allah wrote? Kafir. Agreed upon. Okay, the next chapter is protection from the Dajjal. Next chapter, protection from the Dajjal. Okay, there are three protections from the Dajjal. Okay, our brother Al-Ghifari, there are three protections from the Dajjal. The first protection is to constantly recite the dua which the Prophet used to recite. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min azab jahannam wa min azab qabr wa min fitnat al-mahya wa mamat ومن فتنة مسيح الدجال. That is the dua. O Allah, we seek refuge with you from the punishment of hell, from the punishment of the grave, the qabr, from the tribulations of life and death, from the tribulations of the false Messiah ad-Dajjal. This hadith was narrated by many Sahabas, including Anas ibn Malik, Abu Hurairah, Aisha, Ibn Abbas, Sa'd ibn Waqqas, and many others. I recite the hadith again, the dua that you recite, you constantly recite for the protection against the Dajjal. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min azab jahannam wa min azab qabr wa min fitnat al-mahya wa mamat wa min fitnat al-masih ad-Dajjal. Okay, you found the dua. Okay, jazakallah khairan. That is your first protection against the Dajjal. Okay, the second protection, our brother Al-Ghifari, the second protection against the Dajjal. The second protection is to memorize the first 10 verses of Surah The Cave. The first 10 verses of Surah The Cave is your other protection against the fitna of the Dajjal. The first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf will be safe from the Dajjal. Okay, first 10 verses of Surah The Cave, he will be protected from the Dajjal. Okay, shukran. The third protection against the Dajjal okay, our brother Al-Ghuraba, what is the third protection? The third protection from the fitna of the Dajjal is to live in Mecca or Medina. Ibn Kathir gave us these three protections. I'm quoting from Ibn Kathir. To take up residence in Mecca and Medina. Because the Dajjal will not be able to enter Mecca nor Medina because angels are guarding each gate of Mecca and Medina. Each gate is guarded by angel. And even when Tamim ad-Dari spoke to the Dajjal in the monastery, when they shipwrecked on an island, he himself said, I can't enter Mecca nor Medina. And the Dajjal said it. He admitted he can't enter. Now, while the next chapter from the major signs before Judgment Day is, I think everybody in the room knows what the next chapter will be. It's not exactly rocket science, is it? The first chapter was the Mahdi. The second chapter was the Dajjal. Everybody in the room knows what is the third chapter. It's not exactly rocket science. The third chapter is the return of Jesus. Okay, yeah. To doubt the coming of Jesus because it was made mention of in the Holy Quran. And you are not allowed to reject faith in the Holy Quran. So Allah said in Surah Zukhruf, verse 61. Allah told you in Surah Zukhruf, Surah 43, verse 61, that the coming of Jesus is one of the signs before the hour. Therefore, you are not allowed to have any doubts about it. Allah Ta'ala said, وَإِنَّهُ لَعِلْمٌ لِلسَّاعَةِ فَلَا تَمْتَرُنَّ بِهَا وَاتَّبِعُونَ هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. And the return of Jesus, the Son of Mary, shall be one of the major signs before the day of resurrection. Therefore, have no doubt about it. Now, there are people like Ibn Khaldun who said, no, there is no Mahdi and there is no Jesus. All of that is gibberish. Now, Ibn Khaldun was a great scholar. You cannot deny that. But he wasn't a scholar of Aqidah. So even though Ibn Khaldun was a great scholar, he wasn't a scholar of Aqidah. So when he says, oh, there is no Mahdi, that's rubbish. No Jesus. How can there be Jesus? Muhammad is the last prophet. How can Jesus come back when Muhammad is the last prophet? That's rubbish. Ibn Khaldun was a great scholar, but he wasn't a scholar of Aqidah. So there are great Islamic scholars out there, but you can't take Aqidah from them. My sincere advice to you, if you want to have right Aqidah, stick to Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah. That is my sincere advice to you. If you don't want to have dodgy Aqidah, stick to the four great Imams. The four great Imams, and stick to Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah. Because you might see Ibn Khaldun and say, oh, he's the father of sociology. What a great scholar he was. He's the father of sociology. Even Kuffar respect Ibn Khaldun. Yes, he was a great scholar, but he wasn't a scholar of Aqidah. It's like Qurtubi was Ash'ari in Allah's names and attributes, and Imam Ghazali. You cannot take Aqidah from Imam Ghazali. If you want to have the right Aqidah, stick to Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah and the four great Imams, Abu Hanifa, Malik, Shafi, and Ahmad ibn Hanbal. If you stick to the four great Imams, you will never go astray in regards to Aqidah. Okay, let's talk about Jesus. Where will he descend? The Prophet said he will descend between two angels wearing a yellow thobe at the white minaret of Damascus. Okay, find that hadith, T and Spar. So if you are Muslim, you are asked, where will he descend? Mecca, Medina, Jerusalem, Mount Arafah, in Yemen, Afghanistan, where will he descend? Your answer to that question is, Jesus will descend between the shoulders of two angels at the white minaret of Damascus wearing yellow thobe. When he descends, the Iqamah will be called, and he will enter the masjid to pray. When the people see Jesus, they will recognize him, because the Prophet was very descriptive and vivid in describing Jesus. I'm going to give you the description of Jesus in a little while. So the Imam will step back and he will tell Jesus to lead this salah. But Jesus will refuse to lead the salah. And he will say, the Iqamah wasn't called for me. And he will pray behind the leader of the Muslims. This leader of the Muslims will be a pious man. He's not the Mahdi. He's a pious man. Why Jesus will refuse to lead the salah and pray behind this man? Because Jesus will return not as a prophet, but as an ordinary human being, because there is no prophet after Muhammad. Narrated by Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, there is no prophet between me and him, that is Jesus. He will descend to the earth. When you see him, recognize him, a man of medium height, reddish hair, reddish fair, wearing two light yellow garments, looking as if drops were falling down from his head, though it will not be wet. He will fight the people for the cause of Islam. He will break the cross, kill the swine, abolish the jizya. Allah will perish all religions except Islam. He will destroy the Antichrist and he will live on earth for 40 years. And then he will die. The Muslims will pray over him. Sunan Abu Dawud. So the reign of Jesus will be 40 years. That's a long time. In my opinion, that's a long time to reign. 40 years. Now, I want the hadith when the Iqamah was called. And Jesus entered the masjid to pray. And they asked him to lead the salah. and he will refuse to lead the salah. He will say the Iqamah wasn't called for me. Now, after Jesus prayed in the masjid, he will leave the masjid and he will set out, yes, the white minaret of Damascus. This is the hadith I wanted. He will leave the masjid and he will set out to do his mission. What is the mission? To kill the Dajjal. When the Dajjal sees Jesus, he will start to melt the way salt melts in water. But Jesus will not be satisfied. He will kill him with his sword. Even though the Dajjal will melt when he sees Jesus, Jesus will not be satisfied. He'll kill the Dajjal physically with his sword for the people to see. When the Dajjal dies, the Jews will be in total disarray, chaos, because their king is dead. It is at this time the Jew will run behind a tree or a stone to hide because their king is dead. So they are now disorientated. And the tree and the stone will cry out, "O Muslim, O Abdullah, a Jew is behind me, come and kill him." It is at this time, church, this is what Ibn Kathir said, based on my research. It is at this time that the Jew will run behind a tree or a stone. The tree and the stone will cry out, "O Muslim, O Abdullah, a Jew is behind me, come and kill him." I told you how long the Dajjal will reign for 40. I told you that Jesus will reign for 40 years. I told you Imam Mahdi will reign for 7 years. Okay, a brief description of Jesus. Our brother Al-Ghuraba, the next chapter, a brief Jesus. Abu Huraira, okay, find the hadith, our brother Inspire. Abu Huraira said, the Prophet said, on the night of Al-Isra wal-Miraj, I met Moses. He was a slim man with wavy hair and looked like a man from Shanu'a tribe. I also met Jesus. He was of medium height and of red complexion, as if he had just come out of the bath. Bukhari. The Prophet said, while I was asleep, I saw myself in a dream making tawaf around the Kaaba. I saw a brown-skinned man with straight hair being supported by two men and with water dripping from his head. I said, who is this? They said, the son of Mary, Jesus, the son of Mary. I turned around and saw a fat, ruddy man with curly hair who was blind in the right eye. His eye looked like a floating grape. I asked, who is this? They said, that is the Dajjal. The one who was resembled him is Ibn Qattan al-Zuhri. Ibn Qattan was a man from Khuza'a who died during Jahiliyyah before the coming of Islam. Okay, I found a hadith that talks about the description of Jesus. The Prophet said, Jesus resembled Urwa ibn Mas'ud. The Prophet said, Jesus resembled that Sahaba, Urwa ibn Mas'ud. Now, after talking about Jesus, the next chapter, the mission of Jesus. The next chapter, the 5 mission of Jesus. The 5 mission of Jesus. Okay, the next chapter, the 5 mission of Jesus. Jesus is coming back to kill the swine because the Christians eat it and it's haram. To kill the swine, to break the cross, Jesus is coming back to kill the swine, to break the cross, to abolish the jizya, to kill the Dajjal, and to kill the Gog and Magog. Am I going too fast? Where is the notes? The 5 mission of Jesus. Jesus is coming back to kill the swine, to break the cross, to kill the Dajjal, to abolish the jizya, and to kill the Gog and Magog. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay, the 5 mission of Jesus. I didn't see the notes on the board, so I think my pal talk went funny. The 5 mission of Jesus, I repeat myself. His mission is to kill the swine, to break the cross, to kill the Dajjal, to abolish the jizya, and to kill the Gog and Magog. These are the 5 missions of Jesus. Just come back. To kill the swine, to break the cross, to abolish the jizya, to kill the Dajjal, and to kill the Gog and Magog. Okay. And he will be with us for 40 years. He's going to marry and have kids. Now, what is the next chapter in our dars tonight? It's not exactly rocket science, is it? What's the next chapter? The next chapter is the Gog and Magog. So our brother Al-Ghuraba, the next chapter is the Gog and Magog. Allah mentioned them in Surah 18. Do you remember verse 23 to 24? The Gog and Magog, they are wild tribes. And the hadith said they are Turks. They were on earth already. They are from the lineage of Japhet. Okay, they are from the lineage of Japhet. Sorry, I didn't spell it right. There's a H at the end. Japhet is one of the sons of Noah. Don't forget Sam. Who is Sam? Sam is the son of the Arabs, the Asians. The Arabs, the Asians, that's Sam. And who is Ham? The son, from him you get the black people. And who is Japhet? From Japheth you get white people. We studied Noah, didn't we? Sam is from the Arabs and the Jews. They are Sam. So when a person is Semitic, Semitic means the Arabs and the Jews. That's the Semitic race. Then you have Ham. Ham, those are the black race, the African race. Then you have Japheth. Who are they? The white people. So the Gog and Magog, they're white people. They were on earth killing. So if the Gog and Magog are white people, you should expect that genocide, mass murder, will be a trait found among Europeans because they are the Gog and Magog. The Gog and Magog, according to Ibn Kathir, are white people. From Japheth. Japheth is the father of the white race. Ham is the father of the black race. Sam is the father of the Arabs, the Arab race. That's why you call people Semitic, from Sam. They were on earth killing people. And then a king called Dhul-Qarnayn built a wall of copper to contain them. They are digging a hole in the wall. And then they say, we are going to come and dig the hole bigger tomorrow for us to escape from the wall. But they keep forgetting to say Inshallah. One day they are going to remember to say Inshallah and they are going to break loose from the wall. The sheer number of the Gog and Magog is so huge that they will pass by a huge river. And they'll drink and drink and drink until the water dries up. Yes. He made a hajj with Abraham, Dhul-Qarnayn. They have been trying to pierce a hole in the wall to escape, to come back to kill people. And they kept forgetting to say Inshallah. So because of that, they aren't able to escape. One day they are going to remember to say Inshallah, and then they are going to pierce the hole and escape. Their number is so huge that they are going to pass by a big river and drink and drink and drink until the river becomes dry. Even though it's haram to run from the battlefield, if you run from the Gog and Magog, Allah will forgive you. Even though it's haram to run from the battlefield, because their number is huge, you can't fight them. They are going to shoot arrows in the sky, and it's going to return with something looking like blood, and they say, oh, we have... Why did Ibn Kathir in his book Signs Before the Day of Judgment mention the Gog and Magog immediately after mentioning Jesus? Why Ibn Kathir mentioned the Gog and Magog after talking about Jesus in his book? Because the blood, The job of Jesus is to kill them. That's one of his 5 missions, to kill the Gog and Magog. So how will Jesus kill the Gog and Magog? How? The people go to him and complain about the mischief that they are spreading. He'll make a dua and Allah will cause worms to infest their nape. Nape, what nape? Nape means neck. That's a new word for you. That's a new word. Nape means neck. Jesus will make a dua and Allah will cause worms to infest their nape and kill them. Means the back of the neck, actually. Nape is the back of the neck. The nape is the back of the neck. Okay, this is the hadith about the Gog and Magog. When they die, the stench of their body will be excruciating. The people can't bear the stench. It's overpowering. So they'll go back to Jesus and complain again about the stench of their bodies. Jesus will make another dua and Allah will send birds to eat their bodies. And this is how we'll get rid of the Gog and Magog once and for all. Okay, the next chapter is the appearance of the beast. This sign before the day of judgment is so important, Allah made mention of it in the Holy Quran. Surah 27, verse 82. This sign before the day of judgment is so important, Allah Ta'ala has made mention of it in the Holy Quran. Surah 27, verse 82. So Allah Ta'ala said, أخرجنا لهم دابة من الأرض تكلمهم أن الناس كانوا بآياتنا لا يوقنون. And when the word of torment is fulfilled against them, we shall bring out from the earth a beast for them to speak to them, because mankind believes not with certainty in our signs. Their belief in our signs was wishy-washy, not with certainty. It was lukewarm. It wasn't with yaqeen. So in this ayah, Allah Ta'ala is speaking about the beast. The beast will come and speak to you in your language, whether you speak Urdu, you speak Arabic, Urdu, Punjabi, Greek, English, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Dutch. Okay, there's a language called Chinese, there's a language called Japanese, there's a language called Portuguese, and there's a language called Womanese. Have you heard about that language? There's a language called Japanese, there's a language called Chinese, there's a language called Portuguese, and there's a language called Womanese. Didn't you know that? When a woman says no, she means yes. Many times when you propose to a woman and she says no, she means yes. That language is called womanese. And Mike, can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me, Mike? Yes. Don't forget Arabic. Mention Arabic as one of the languages. Arabic. We used to speak to you. I'm finished with the Gog and Magog. The Hujjah is late. That Hujjah is too late. I'm not talking about Gog and Magog. I'm talking about the beast. You have to be sharp with the Hujjah. That Hujjah is late. Okay, our brother Al-Ghuraba, please post the topic again, the appearance of the beast, and clean up what you sent before. Okay, continue to post the Hujjah of the Gog and Magog until you're finished. Wait, Al-Ghuraba, let him finish posting the hadith about the Gog and Magog, because I can't see the takhrij. This means the hadith is not finished posting. Please continue to post the hadith about the Gog and Magog until you finally find the takhrij. They will dig until they begin to see sunlight. Then the one who is in charge of them will say, go back, you can dig. You can carry on digging tomorrow, inshallah. In this case, he will make an exception by saying, inshallah. Thus, relating the matter to the will of Allah, they will return on the following day and find the hole as they left it. They will carry on digging and come out against the people. They will drink all the water, and the people will entrench themselves in the fortresses. Gog and Magog will fire arrows into the sky. They will fall back on earth with something looking like blood on them. The Gog and Magog will say, we have defeated the people of earth and overcome the people of heaven. So they will be delusional. Then Allah will send a kind of worm in the napes of the neck. Nape means the back of the neck. And they will be killed by it, by him in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad. The beasts of the earth will become fat. Gog and Magog are two groups of Turks descended from Japhet, the father of the Turks, one of the sons of Noah. So the Japhet is the father of white people. Ham, the father of black people. Sam, the father of Arabs and even Indians and Pakistanis. The Asian continent. So Sam, the Asian continent. Ham, the African continent. Japhet, the European continent. These are the three sons of Noah. This is a long hadith about the Gog and Magog. Uprooting plants, killing people. When Jesus prays against them, Allah will send a kind of worm in the napes of their neck, and they will be killed by it, yes. The job of Jesus is to kill the Gog and Magog. Just with one dua, Allah will send worms eating the nape. Nape means the back of the neck, until they die by it. The beast of the earth will get fat eating the bodies of the Gog and Magog. The stench of their body will be excruciating, unbearable, overpowering. So the people will complain to Jesus, and he'll make a second dua, and Allah birds to eat the dead carcasses of the Gog and Magog. Okay, the hadith is finished because I can. The appearance of the beast. Okay, Al-Ghifari, you can now post the chapter, the appearance of the beast. Authentic 33, you have to clean off the proofs. Among the major signs before the Day of Judgment is the appearance of the beast. This sign is so important. Allah Ta'ala spoke about it in Surah 27, verse 82. So what did Allah say in Surah 27, verse 82? وَإِذَا وَقَعَ الْقَوْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَخْرَجْنَا لَهُمْ دَابَّةً مِنَ الْأَرْضِ تُكَلِّمُهُمْ أَنَّ النَّاسَ كَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا لَا يُوقِنُونَ. And when the word of torment is fulfilled against them, we shall bring out from the earth a beast for them to speak to them, because mankind did not believe in our signs with certainty. Their faith in our signs was wishy-washy, was lukewarm, not with certainty, no yaqeen. Now, the scholars say that when Allah spoke about Surah 6, 158, Surah 6, 158. Surah 6, 158 is talking about some signs. Do they then wait for anything other than the angels should come to them, or that your Lord Allah should come, or that some of the signs of your Lord should come, the portents of the hour? Rising of the sun from the west, the day that the some of the signs of your Lord to come, no good will it do for a person to believe, if he did not believe before, nor earned good by performing deeds of righteousness through his iman. So you need to hasten to do righteous deeds before three things happen. Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger said, the hour will not establish until the sun rises from the west instead of the east. So what are the signs that Allah is talking about in this surah, this ayah? Okay, our brother Al-Ghifari, the above mentioned signs is the beast, the Dajjal, and the rising of the sun from the west instead of the east. These are the three signs. The beast, the Dajjal, and the rising of the sun from the west instead of the east. The beast, when the beast comes, the beast is going to brand every human being in his forehead. This beast that Allah spoke about in the Quran, when he comes, he's going to brand every single human being in his forehead. The beast is going to brand in your forehead Muslim if you are a Muslim, and Kafir if you are a Kafir. When the beast comes, he will brand every human being in his forehead. Muslim if you are a Muslim, and Kafir if you are a Kafir. Everyone's status will become clear. The beast will say, "O believer" or "O unbeliever." Everybody's status will become clear because the beast will say, "O believer" or "O unbeliever." So the beast will expose everybody's status. The other major sign before the day of judgment is the destruction of the Kaaba. The destruction of the Kaaba. Okay, find the hadith. The Prophet said a black man will come from Ethiopia and he'll tear down the Kaaba brick by brick. A black man with thin legs. He is called Zul Suwayqatain. What's his name? Zul Suwayqatain. A black man will come from Ethiopia with thin legs. And he'll tear down the Kaaba. Okay, that's his name. Zul Suwayqatain. It means the man with thin legs. And he shall tear down the Kaaba brick by brick. That's one of the major signs before the day of judgment. At the end of time, Zul Suwayqatain, who will come from Ethiopia, will destroy the Kaaba in order to steal its treasures. The Kiswa, the cloth. The Kaaba is an ancient building built by Abraham. The foundation was laid by Adam himself. So why will he tear down the Kaaba? To steal its treasures. Zul Suwayqatain from Ethiopia will destroy the Kaaba and steal its treasures. Even the cloth of the Kaaba he'll steal. It is as if I could see him now. He is bald-headed and has a distortion in his wrist. He will strike the Kaaba with his spade and pickaxe. This hadith can be found in Musnad Ahmad. It was reported from Abdallah ibn Umar that the Prophet said, "Leave the Abyssinians alone so long as they do not disturb you, for no one will recover the treasure of the Kaaba except those who came from Abyssinia." In the chapter on prohibition of provoking the Abyssinians. It is as if I can see now. He is black and his legs are widely spaced. He will destroy the Kaaba stone, brick by brick, stone by stone. The Prophet said the hour will not come until a man from Qahtan appears and rules the people. The man could be Zulqarnain or someone else because this man comes from Qahtan, while some other reports say that Zulqarnain comes from Abyssinia, and Allah knows best. Anyway, I don't want to elaborate on this chapter because I have another chapter to talk about. The next chapter is the rising of the sun from the west. The next major sign before Judgment Day is the rising of the sun from the west. Every morning the sun rises in the east and in the evening it sets in the west. Do you know why the sun goes to the west? It goes to the west to make sajda to Allah. One day the sun will try to return to the east and Allah will say, you have to rise from the west. When the sun rises from the west, it's considered to be one of the major signs. If you take your shahada, it will be thrown back in your face like a dirty rag because it will be too late. And this is what Allah meant in Surah 6, 158. The sun sets in the west. Why the sun goes to the west? To make sajda to Allah. Find that hadith. The sun goes to the west to make sajda to Allah. One day the sun will try to go back to the east. Allah will say, you're going to rise from the west, not from the east. When the kuffar see this, they will rush into Islam, but Allah will throw back their shahada in their face like a dirty rag. It will be said to them, it's too late. It is too late. So a person should take his shahada before the sun rises from the west. Because that is the time when Allah will say to the person who takes his shahada, it's too late. So the sun will seek permission from Allah to go back to the east, for the sun to rise from the east, and Allah will refuse to grant it permission and say you have to rise from the west. And when the kuffar sees this, they'll rush into Islam, but Allah will throw back their Islam in their face like a dirty rag because it's too late. It's like a Pharaoh. The Pharaoh took shahada, but it was too late. The sun goes to the west to make sajda. The other major sign before Judgment Day is the large smoke. The hadith of the large smoke is the other sign before the Day of Judgment. Masruq said, while a man was giving a speech among the people of Kinda, he said there will be a smoke on the day of resurrection which will deprive the hypocrites of their hearing and their sight. So the purpose of the large smoke is to deprive the hypocrites of their hearing and their sight. But the believers will only suffer something like a flu, a cold. We were terrified, so we went to Ibn Mas'ud, who was reclining When he heard about this, he became angry and sat up and said, O people, whoever knows a thing, let him say it. But whoever doesn't know, let him say, Allah knows best. It is a part of knowledge. When one does not know anything, something, to say Allah knows best. Allah said to his Prophet Muhammad, no reward do I ask of you for this Quran, nor am I a pretender. Quraysh were being slow in embracing Islam. So the Prophet prayed against them, saying, O Allah, help me against them by sending 7 years of famine like those of Joseph, the years of Joseph. They were afflicted by a year of famine in which they were destroyed and ate dead animals and bones. They began to see something like smoke between the sky and the earth. Abu Sufyan came and said, O Muhammad, you came to command us to keep good and relations with our relatives, and your people have perished. So pray that Allah may relieve them. Then Ibn Masud recited, then watch thou for the day that the sky will bring forth a kind of smoke, clearly visible, enveloping the people. This will be a grievous penalty. They will say, O Lord, remove the penalty from us, for we do truly believe. So the purpose of the large smoke is to deprive the hypocrites of their sight and their hearing. Anyway, I only have about 3 minutes left to close the dars. The last sign before the day of judgment will be a fire from Yemen that will drive the people to their place of assembly. The place of assembly is Jerusalem. A large fire from Yemen to drive the people to their place of assembly. That will be the last sign before judgment day. A fire from Yemen which will drive the people to their place of assembly, which is Jerusalem. In the hadith of Hudhayfah ibn Asid regarding the major signs, at the end of which a fire will burn out from Yemen and will drive the people to their place of assembly. Okay, shukran, jazakallah khairan. I'll stop here for today. I'll take 3 questions in regards to what you have heard. This is the last and final sign before the day of judgment. And when the fire comes and they are driven to their place of assembly, then the angel will blow into the trumpet. After they are driven to their place of assembly, the angel will blow into the trumpet. Okay, this is the last sign. I'll stop here for today. We have covered the minor signs. We have covered the major signs. I think we have to cover the punishment of the grave next. Okay, we'll do the punishment of the grave next. I will do the punishment of the grave next, and then I'll do Judgment Day. I've done the signs before Judgment Day, so I have to do the punishment of the grave, then I'll do Judgment Day itself. I don't see any questions. I'm going to close the dars. I cannot see any questions in regards to our topic, the signs before the Day of Judgment. I'm going to close the door. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha I'd like to thank our brother Al-Ghuraba for the notes, and I'd like to thank Authentic Tawheed. What is the question? Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. So the Dajjal is a metaphor or system. Is this correct? The Sheikhs who say the Dajjal is a metaphor, they are delusional. The Dajjal is a man, a Jew, a red-faced Jew. So to say the Dajjal is just a system is delusional. To say the Dajjal, there's a system called the system of the Dajjal, that's correct. Democracy is the system of the Dajjal. The ideology of the Dajjal is democracy. The propaganda wing, the mouthpiece of the Dajjal is CNN, Fox News. The economic system of the Dajjal is the IMF, the World Bank. The Shura system of the Dajjal is the UN. That's a Shura system. That's the political wing of the Dajjal, UN. The ideology of the Dajjal is democracy. And please write what I'm saying. The ideology of the Dajjal is democracy. His economic system is capitalism, riba. His propaganda machine is CNN, Fox News. The ideology is democracy. So if you believe in democracy, you have fallen into the Dajjal system. You think you are following Islam, you are following the religion of the Dajjal because you believe in democracy. The Dajjal is more than just a system, he is also a human. If you say the internet is Dajjal, you're wrong. The internet is just a tool of the Dajjal. The TV and the internet, that's just a tool of the Dajjal. The Dajjal is a man. The Dajjal is a system as well as a man. The internet is a tool of the Dajjal. Okay, next question. The minor signs have happened, not the major signs. The first will be the Mahdi, secondly, Dajjal, and third, Jesus. None of them happen yet. Don't forget, we covered the major signs. The Mahdi is the first, and the second is the Dajjal, and the third is Jesus, and the fourth is what? The Gog and Magog, because Jesus is supposed to kill the Gog and Magog. Any more questions about our dars? Please invite your families and friends to the room. We should have had 200 people in the room for this important topic. The Dajjal is on earth. Don't forget the hadith of Tamim ad-Dari. Tamim ad-Dari was a Palestinian Christian who took Shahada. Why he took Shahada? Because the Dajjal told him to follow Muhammad. Have you come to my class late? The questions you're asking prove you came late. The Dajjal is on earth. He's on an island. Tamim ad-Dari with 30 companions, they shipwreck. And they went to the island and they found the Dajjal in a monastery. A Jew. He's in shackles, in chains. And he told Tamim ad-Dari to follow Muhammad, the unlettered prophet. He came straight to the prophet and took Shahada. He's a Palestinian Christian. A Palestinian Christian who embraced Islam. Because the Dajjal told him to follow Muhammad. So even though the Dajjal is evil, at least he told them the truth. Follow Muhammad. Follow the unlettered prophet. Did you know many scholars believe the island is Malta. Many scholars believe the island, the shipwreck was Malta. But it's not Malta, it's in the east, because the Prophet said the Dajjal will emerge from Khurasan. Malta is not the right place the Dajjal is. Malta, that's what some scholars say. But the Dajjal will be in Khurasan. The hadith says the Dajjal will emerge from Khurasan. The majority of his followers will be Jews and women. And he'll be on the earth for 40 days. And Jesus will be on earth for 40 years. The Dajjal will rule for 40 days, but how long will Jesus rule for? 40 years. So the rule of Jesus will outstrip that of the Dajjal. When Jesus comes and rules, there will be peace and tranquility. No enmity will be on earth. Even a child will be able to play with a lion when Jesus comes. A child will be able to play with the most dangerous snakes when Jesus comes. There will be no enmity on earth and no fitna. To the extent where a child will be able to play with a lion. Is the Dajjal related to Iblis? Not genetically, but ideologically. The Dajjal is related to Iblis, not genetically, because the Dajjal is a man, Iblis is jinn. But they are related ideologically. Because one inspires the other. So, where is the evidence that they are related ideologically? Surah 6, 112. Bring the hujjah to answer question number 4 from the Quran, that the human shayateen and the shayateen of ins and jinn, they inspire each other by way of deception. Surah 6, 112. So what did Allah say in Surah 6, 1 and 2 to answer question number 4? وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا شياطين الإنس والجن يوحي بعضهم إلى بعض زخرف القول غرورا. And so we have appointed for every prophet enemies, shayateen from among mankind, shayateen from among the jinn, inspiring one another with adorned speech as a delusion by way of deception. So the Dajjal, he gets his inspiration from the shaitan to mislead people. He gets his inspiration from the shaitan to mislead the people. Allah said the shayateen of the jinn inspire shayateen of human being by way of deception. Any more questions? Where is the other evidence to prove that the shayateen inspire each other? Surah 8 verse 48. Do you remember that story? The shaitan inspired Quraysh to fight the Muslims. Inveigled Quraysh. Incited Quraysh. And when he saw the angel Gabriel coming, he ran away. He kicked rocks. He did a runner. He ran away and said, I am innocent of you. I wash my hands of you because I can see things which you cannot see. Surah 8 verse 48. This is the evidence that the shayateen from the jinn inspire the shayateen of humans. The Dajjal will control the weather. Of course they'll control the weather. And the human Dajjal, they are controlling the weather is their program called the harp. What does harp means? Who can tell me what is harp? Can somebody Google that? That's the Dajjal from the human beings controlling the weather. They can cause rainfall in Europe and deserts in Africa. Because the Europeans, they are controlling the Dajjal system. The Prophet said the Dajjal has no kids. Some scholars said the Dajjal is gay. High frequency active oral research program. That's when they... You understand what HARP means now? You see that? HARP? The HARP program. High frequency active oral research program. That's the Dajjal. That's the Dajjal controlling the weather. So the human Dajjal controls the weather with the HARP system. And if you obey the Dajjal, it makes your life easy. If you vote against America in the UN like what Yemen did, they put embargo on you and starve you and trash your currency. You vote against America and see what happens to you in the UN. They trash your currency and they call you a rogue state. These are important questions because it is telling you how the Dajjal operates. The Dajjal has two rivers. One look like fire, one look like water. I told you I learned that from my sheikhs. You found the hadith, but you found it in Abu Dawud. My sheikhs brought it from Muslim. The Dajjal has two rivers. One look like fire, one look like water. The Prophet said, run to the one that looks like fire because that's the water. And the one that looks like the water, that's the fire. So the Dajjal system is what is truth, he makes it look like falsehood. And what is falsehood, he makes it look like the truth. That is the Dajjal system. That is the Dajjal system. What is truth, he makes it look like falsehood. What is falsehood, he makes it look like the truth. How evil the Dajjal is. So the human Dajjal, they make Islam look evil and they make democracy look good. The human Dajjal. And many Muslims fell into the web of the Dajjal because they believe in democracy. All of you who believe in democracy, you are kuffar and you have fallen into the web of the Dajjal. Because democracy is the creed of the Dajjal. Now, one of the signs of the last days is that the Muslims will fight the Romans because the Muslims will have some POWs which the Romans claim belong to them. And they will tell the Muslims to hand over their men. And the Muslims will refuse and say, we won't hand them over because they are our brothers. So the Romans will launch an attack on the Muslims. 1/3 of the Muslims will run away and Allah won't forgive them. 1/3 will stand up and fight and they will die as shuhada and they will be the best of shuhada. 1/3 will stand up and fight the Romans and defeat the Romans. This is called the beginning of Armageddon, or the end of Armageddon, actually. This is the end of Armageddon. Because the first phase of Armageddon is that you will unite with the Christians to fight the Antichrist. That's the first step for Armageddon. And when you unite with the Christians to fight the Antichrist, you will defeat the Antichrist. The Antichrist is the Jews and the Hindus. They're the Antichrist. And after you unite with the Christians to fight the Antichrist, a Muslim will kill a Christian because the Christian will say, hooray, and lift up the cross. We won because of the cross. The Muslim because of a ghairah. He's not bighairat. Because of ghairah, jealousy over his deen, he'll kill the Christian. So you're going to fight with the Christians. This is the second phase of the Armageddon. This battlefield will be so huge that a bird will fly over it and the bird will be exhausted and fell down in the blood. So Armageddon has different phases. It's a huge battle and it's long and drawn out, a war of attrition. The first phase of Armageddon, you'll unite with the Christians to fight the Antichrist and you'll defeat the Antichrist. The second phase, you'll fight with the Romans themselves. 1/3 of the Muslims will run away and they won't be forgiven by Allah. 1/3 will stand up and fight and they will die as shuhada and they will be the best of martyrs. 1/3 will remain and fight and will be victorious over the Romans. This is the second phase for Armageddon. The second Armageddon, you'll fight with the Romans and you'll defeat the Romans. The modern day scholars will never tell you that Dajjal is just a system. They'll tell you Dajjal is a system and a man. Even Imran Hussein of Trinidad will tell you Dajjal is a man. Because the Prophet said he's blind in the right eye. He'll kill a man and bring the man back to life. He'll kill a man and bring the man back to life. Even Imran Hussein of Trinidad will tell you that Dajjal is a man, because the hadith is clear. If you follow him, he'll give you rainfall. If you don't follow him, he makes you have drought. If you follow him, he gives you rainfall. If you don't follow him, he makes you suffer drought. He will approach a Bedouin and say, what if I bring your prince back to life? Will you worship me? He'd say yes. The jinns who work with the Dajjal will take on the form of his mother and father. And the Bedouin will say, Subhanallah, and worship the Dajjal, thinking the Dajjal is Allah. The Prophet said, don't be deceived. The Prophet said, what? Don't be deceived. You can't see your Lord in the dunya. You'll see your Lord when you enter the paradise, not in the dunya. So don't think he's your Lord. You cannot see Allah in the dunya. You'll see Allah when you enter the paradise, not in the dunya. So don't be deceived. And don't be an unsuspecting Muslim. You'll see your Lord in paradise, not in the dunya. Don't you remember when Musa asked Allah, can I see you? And Allah said, Lan tarani. You will never see me, but look at the mountain. If the mountain can stand in its place, then you'll be able to see me. Surah 7:143. Bring that hujjah, because the scholars use it to say, don't believe that Dajjal is Allah, you cannot see Allah. Not even Musa was able to see Allah. Allah said, Lan tarani, you'll never see me. Walakin undur ila al-jabal, look at the Jabal, the mountain. فَإِنِ اسْتَقَرَّ مَكَانَهُ فَسَوْفَ تَرَانِي. If the mountain can stand in its place, then you'll see me. And when Allah exposed himself to the mountain, it crumbled to powder and dust. The scholars use this to say, don't think that man is Allah. You cannot see Allah. That Jew who is blind in the right eye. Don't think that Jew is Allah. You cannot see Allah. The scholars, they quote this ayah to refute the Dajjal. You can post question number 6 again, because I brought a hujjah. Bring me question number 6 again and delete the first one. Can you please post the question again? The Prophet said the Dajjal will be able to travel all over the world in very quick time. These planes that travel from London to China in 15 hours, they will become obsolete. The Dajjal will be able to travel the world with quick time. He's going to travel all over the world. Dajjal has two meanings. It means to deceive and it means to spread your fitna all over the world. Dajjal. Look at the trains that were in Europe 20 years ago. They're obsolete. Those trains, they send them to Africa. They're not good for Europe anymore. The European trains are called bullet trains, in which you can travel from Paris to Marseille in just 1 hour. Bullet trains. The Rasul said the Dajjal will be able to travel all over the world in very quick time. He won't be in the Middle East alone. He'll be all over the world. A Muslim man will tie up his mother, his wife, his sister, his daughter, his aunt. Tie them up with ropes in the house because he's afraid that these women folks will leave the house to follow the Dajjal. Because the majority of the followers of the Dajjal will be what? Jews and women. A Muslim man will use ropes to tie up his mother, his wife, his aunt, his sister, his daughters, because he's terrified and petrified that these women will leave the house to follow the Dajjal. Because the majority of his followers will be what? Jews and, not men, Jews and women. I didn't say men, I said Jews and women. Also find the hadith, his followers will be Jews and women. Because I learned it from my sheikhs, that there will be Jews and women following the Dajjal. Try to find that hadith. $70,000 Jews from Iran will follow the Dajjal. Wearing shawls over their heads. 70,000 Jews. Did you find the hadith? The majority of his followers will be Jews and women. I learned it from my sheikhs. I googled the hadith. Jews and women will follow the Dajjal. If you put that in, the hadith will come up. And as reported, the Messenger of Allah, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, the Dajjal will be followed by 70,000 Jews of Aswan wearing head shawls. Okay, that's one hadith. Where is the other hadith? That the majority of his followers will be Jews and women. So I've explained to you what Armageddon is. It comes in two phases. The first part of Armageddon is when you fight with the Christians against the common enemy, the Antichrist. And the second phase is when you will fight with the Christians. Because somebody will lift up the cross and say, hooray, we won because of the cross. And a Muslim will kill the Christian who lift up the cross. So the Armageddon is called the final battle between truth and evil, between good and evil. Armageddon means the final battle between good and evil. In Arabic, we say malhama for Armageddon. Malhama is Armageddon. Where is the hadith that the majority of the followers of the Dajjal will be Jews and women? Why are you struggling to find the hadith? A man will tie up his wife, his mother, his daughter, his sister, his aunt with rope, fearing that they'll follow the Dajjal. Yes? Narrated Ahmad, hadith number 5099. Where is the hadith that says the majority of the Dajjal, his followers, will be Jews and women? Okay, I'm going to close the dars. You have answered all your questions. I'd like to thank Authentic Tawheed 3 for helping to post a hujjah. I'd like to thank our brother Khamir Muslim for helping with the hujjah. I'd like to thank our brother Al-Ghuraba for helping with the notes. I'd like to thank our brother Inspire for helping with the hujjah. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I'll try to do the punishment of the grave because I am going through the hereafter series. And then we'll have to do Judgment Day itself.